My biggest piece of advice for somebody trying to break into sports media, coming from someone who has a full-time job in sports media, working for an NBA team, do everything. Make yourself as versatile as humanly possible. And everything sounds daunting, but just know how to do a lot of different things. I used to work in local television, and one time somebody said, "Hey, do you have any interest in hosting a sports radio show?" And I said, "I've never done that before, but sure, I'd love to do it." And then I hosted the sports radio show, and then somebody with my current job heard me hosting that sports radio show, and they said, "We're putting together new shows for our digital network. Would you like to host a show for our digital network?" And next thing I know, I'm working for the Memphis Grizzlies, hosting a 90-minute talk show 5 days a week. But I'm also hosting the radio pregame and postgame and halftime shows, and I'm hosting a pre-pregame show on our digital network, and I'm doing a postgame hit for our TV network, and I'm hosting a postgame show for our digital network, and I'm doing sponsored content throughout the week, and I'm doing player interviews and walk-off interviews with players on the Jumbotron after wins. I'm telling you, do everything. Because even today, when somebody asks, "What do you do at your job?" I say, "How much time do you have?" Because I host, I report, I produce, I create, I write, I do everything. Once upon a time, somebody said, "Hey, can you host this panel?" And I said, "I've never hosted a panel before, but sure." Now I host a lot of panels. Somebody asked, "Do you MC events?" I said, "I've never MC'd events." Now I've MC'd all kinds of events. I MC'd a basketball game last night. One of my friends at work said, "Hey, we want to do something special for Women's History Month. Would you mind MCing this game?" And I said, "Sure, I would love to help you out." And next thing I knew, I'm standing on that court saying, "Everybody get loud!" I was never supposed to do that. I have a journalism degree. But it was fun, and now if somebody asks me in the future, "Hey, can you do this?" I'm like, "Sure, hell yeah, I did it the other day." This industry is evolving rapidly, like many industries. When I graduated in 2014, my degree was in broadcast and digital journalism, and people used to ask me, "What's your dream job?" And I had such a cop-out. I'd be like, "I don't think my dream job exists yet." And guess what? It didn't. I have a job that I absolutely love, but it is a job that did not exist 5 years ago. And you have to be comfortable going into this industry understanding that the job you might be applying for in 10 years doesn't exist yet. And the job that you might see as your dream job right now, you're like, "That's what I want to do. I want to be that person." It might not exist in 10 years either.